Hello, 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 and welcome to the Poncho Perspective, where we try to give you some ins and outs of some of the things that's happening currently with us. Happy Saturday. This is the Poncho Perspective. We are doing a virtual book signing number 3. That's right, y'all. We've done 2 other virtual book signings. We came up with this idea when we launched our first one because there are so many areas in the country where we have been doing book signings, but many people are not in those areas. So we want to come up with a medium that would allow us to reach more people. This is it. So we've been using this medium to get to people at least once a month. We'll go and broadcast specifically to market our book, which is called the Poncho Retrospective. It is a book that was released last July and has been readily available since that time. We've been doing really, really good with book sales. We ran 2,000 copies of the book originally. This show will tell you a little bit more about the details of the book, why it was created, what we had in mind when we were putting it together, some of the challenges that we may have faced. But moreover, it's going to talk a little bit about the process of doing a book. And many of you out there, if you are in the back of your mind, you say, hey, I want to do a book. This is probably the best time ever to do a book. Hey, what's happening, William Jones? Thank you for tuning in. Hey, if you're out there and you're watching the show, you want to tune in, simply leave us a comment at the bottom of either one of our shows, because it's broadcasted on 4 stations. We have my personal page. We have my YouTube channel. We also have my business page, which is The Art of Poncho. And we also have my studio page on Facebook. So we have all of those locations where you can actually view the show. We're also trying to see how many brave people we have out there that can come into the studio and chit chat with us. So if you've bought a book, if you're thinking about buying a book, you want to come into the studio, you want to be live because you will be on the screen, and we'll just chit chat for a couple of minutes. Feel free to do that. You can go to any of my Facebook pages, and there'll be a link there that says join the show. A little bit. You can talk about the book if you purchased one, or we can just talk about whatever subject you want to talk about. So that's what's going on with us today. We're just trying to take advantage of these mediums and how they work. So far, we have been doing well. I have been doing well. I've been facing some challenges here and there, but I'm trying to hold strong. Things have been going pretty good. I've taken a couple of months just to kind of take a break and refocus my energies. The studio is being reorganized, trying to get ready for some open houses towards the end of the year. Matter of fact, we have one open house happening probably next month, so preparing for that too. So we have paintings all over the place and just trying to get things together. So Poncho, how do we do this? Well, first I want to do is I want to try to just give you a brief rundown of what the book is. I'm going to give you a sneak preview from our very first book signing. I want to take this time to thank you all for showing up for this first book signing. It's been a labor of love, but it's been mostly love. I started this whole process. Actually, my son started this process. He looked at me and he says, Dad, I can't believe you've been doing this for 40 years. And I don't think it registered to me at the time what he said. But it had been 40 years. And I was sitting down going, wow, I've been to all these museums, I've been to galleries, I've been to bookstores. 40 years, that's kind of a landmark. Not many people I know have done something like this for 40 years.
Well, I think his story is one that young artists can relate to. The way he came up, what he started doing with some of the commercial art, what he got from his father, and the fact that he's come up through the system. And so when you look at the book and you look at the body of work, which a lot of artists may or may not do, but when you look at the body of work over so many years, it's just incredible. And so a young artist looking at that to say, and reading the story, not just looking at the artwork, but reading his journey, to me, it would be inspiring.
But I wanted to at least create something that they could see a part of themselves in. And so this book has about 305 images in it. Keep in mind, I had to cut 100 images just for this book. This book is just of my published works. I'm working on my second book now of my original works that many of you probably have never seen before.
It's just a beautifully well-presented piece. Of course, his work is just amazing, stylistic, colorful, just amazing work. but it just gives you a guideline and also gives you that motivation because you see the presentation of his work and how much work he's created. You know, he pushes the margin on what he presents. He represents us, tells our stories. It's just a beautiful work of art.
I always wanted to depict some things that were non-typical subjects for us to be seen in. When I first started in this market, it was a lot of, Southern churches, and it was slave scenes, cotton scenes, and all of a sudden I started doing dance, and the artists started doing other stuff, and they felt comfortable doing all these other things, and it just was a major explosion that you guys are still participating in today. And I do think that that movement that went uncharted from 1985 to 2005 is the reason why a lot of the arts is flourishing right now, even today.
It's inspirational, and it's such a collection of amazing work over many years, and I like to see that transformation. Poncho's work has been, from college days right up till now, almost like, this is part of the culture, right? Oh, I know that picture. That's what we had that hanging up in the dorm room, right? It tells a story, and for an artist like me who's experimenting with different mediums and, the business side of it, Poncho is a beast. So just talking to him, but also then seeing the product, it's been, all I can say is very inspirational, very powerful.
I think for me, the most important part of this process is each one of you in here have a story. It has all the elements. It has comedy, it has drama, it has trauma, it has everything. And we have to value our own stories, but more or less we have to share our stories.
I think there's so many lessons learned. I think he is a phenomenal teacher. I think he's a sage in this business. I think he has the respect of a number of contemporaries and emerging artists. And I know that he is an educator. He's educated me on the various facets of African American art. He's an artist, but he's also a collector. So, there are so many dimensions to him that I think it would serve any emerging artist or anyone interested in becoming an artist to get to know him and learn from him.
So the book is a 300 image book. It's about 256 pages in here. As you can see, this is a pretty nice sized book. It is 5 pounds, y'all. 5 pounds of a lot of good artwork. It's got, most importantly, the story in my own words of how I navigated through the art business. And on today's show, we're going to offer an incentive. So if you decide to order the book online, we'll also include my most recent exhibition. I did a solo exhibition at the Children's Museum, the Children's Hospital in DC last year. And these are some digital illustrations that I did while I was in Ghana. But if you order the book today, you'll also get a signed version of this catalog too. You see, it's got the signature going across the front of it. And so that's part of what we're offering today as an incentive. Also as an incentive, the book normally sells for $60 for just the book. It's $80 signed. It's $100 for a remark. Poncho, what's a remark? A remark is a small original drawing. We'll show you a sample of one of those later in the show, so you can get an idea what that is. That's for the collectors that really want their book to appreciate, and they want to have something a little different than what everybody else has. It's just a small original drawing right by my signature. So those are the 3 different levels you can order the book from. Just to give you a brief idea of how you go about ordering, you can go to my website at larryponchabrown.net. You'll see my face. Scroll down a little bit. When you go to the left-hand side of the page, you'll see an area that says order yours to now. Once you click that, it'll take you to a menu that shows you the options that are available for the book. And as you can see, there's 3 options there. Book, you got an autograph, you got a remark. Today, all you will be selecting is the book, because everything from this show will be signed and autographed. Everything from the show will be autographed. So if you already are thinking about buying a book, today is a good incentive day. You get the Bridges catalog along with your book, and you also get your book signed for your charge. So that's what's going on. That's how we're going to do it. and we're going to be giving you some pointers here and there about how to go about collecting artwork, maybe how to go about collecting books, because now both of those things are viable things to do in this new age that we're living in. And so that's what's going on, y'all. Hopefully we will be able to entice a few of you to come online. If you do, go to my Facebook page and hit that link to come into the studio if you want to chit chat with us. Meanwhile, we're going to go back in and give you a little bit more detail about the book. Those of you that have already bought a book and you've sent pictures out, because a lot of people have been trying to promote the book for us. And so what they've been doing is they've been using the hashtag Poncho Retrospective. They've been putting that on their Facebook and social networking posts. And so here's some of the people that already have purchased books. So early last year, we decided we were going to, this is just around the time the pandemic was being called. Time is passing fast, so excuse me for saying last year. But we were, the book was already being planned to be done. It was at least 80% designed. And we decided, well, hey, why don't we just launch it out there, see what's going to happen, and do it. Let's do a crowdfunding campaign just to gauge interest. So if you don't know what a crowdfunding campaign is, it's basically using Kickstarter, Indiegogo. If you ever seen a GoFundMe account, it's similar to that. The difference is these are for artistic projects, and these also you get something in exchange for your money, whereas on GoFundMe, you don't necessarily do that. And so what we did was we put a Kickstarter campaign up. Looks like a regular website. We were able to raise $34,000 with 249 people, but this is what the page actually looked like. As you can see, it gives a brief little outline of what we're trying to do. And then to the right, you'll see all these incentives that you can pledge $25, $45 on up to $10,000. We even had one person who bought an original through this campaign, and they bought that original right there. So it was really exciting. All those names you see to the left are people that actually took time to donate money to this campaign. And so for those of you out there that are looking to fund your project or your dream, I will tell you the Kickstarter and Indiegogo.com are two wonderful crowdfunding sites that you can utilize to do that. You no longer have to go, oh, I can't afford to do it. Now you can use your following to help you. And so like the presentation just showed you, there was 249 plus, because I had some people with some activity that I was doing in addition that was not online. And so totally we had over 300 people that participated in helping get this book published. And each of their names are listed in the acknowledgement section of this book. It was my way of saying thank you, because the reality is the likelihood of a publisher saying, hey, we see Poncho as a viable entity, let's do a book on them, is very, very slim. The competition is high. We're in a mindset now where people celebrate dead artists. They don't celebrate alive artists. And so I think artists need to take advantage of this time, not just through technology, but what's available to you. And the thing we're experiencing now is that everybody has a following, no matter who you are. If you got Facebook, you got a following. So imagine if you tried to cater to that following. And that's all I've been trying to do for the last 40 years, is cater to my following, stay in touch with them, and let them know what I'm trying to do. And this program is another example of how I go about trying to do the outreach. Do you always get the reaction you want to get? No, you don't. But at least you're putting yourself out there. And I do believe in putting yourself out there. That's what I'm talking about. So, hey, Poncho, you talked about the remark earlier. Let's see what that's all about. I'm going to do that, but shortly. If you are checking into the show, and leave us a comment. You got one comment here from Wanda Leggett. She wasn't able to stay, but she said she wanted to come in and congratulate us on continued success. Thank you so much, Miss Leggins, for doing that. She also purchased a book. If you want to come into the show today and talk about your book, go to my Facebook page and you'll see a post that says join the show or join us live. Click that link, come into the studio, and we can chit chat. If you have a comment, feel free to post it. We'll put it on the screen. For those of you that are out there watching, we got a nice big holiday weekend coming up, so hopefully you all are relaxing and having a good time. Weather has been fantastic. But Poncho, what is a remark? How do I do that? So a remark basically is when I take a time and I do a small original drawing in one of the pages in the book. And so here is going to be an example of what that remark process looks like. For those of you that are interested in remarks, they sell for $100, and this is what it looks like. So when we do these remarks, basically what I'm doing is that my goal is to do a unique drawing in each book. So each book comes from my imagination. It's spontaneous. Normally takes me about 10 to 15 minutes to do. It's done in lead. That's a lead holder. Sometimes I'm inspired by the people who are standing in front of me. Sometimes I have something already in mind. I am a figurative artist, so I usually will draw faces of some kind. But the remarks give it an added value because, of course, if you got that in there and you go to resell your book, the remarks sell for $100, and books now are appreciating in price, just as artwork are appreciating in price. You could never have too many books on the market, and this book is probably going to end up being a very serious collectible over time. But the remark is an added incentive for you if you want to do a little extra with your book. They sell for $100, but all I'm doing is doing a very spontaneous drawing. I'm usually in a pretty peaceful state of mind when I'm doing these. So that's what's going on with this remark. I'll let you see a little bit more of how that is created. So that's what it looks like in person when you're doing these remarks. For those of you that are interested in how to order, I'm going to give you that information right now so you can go and we can see everything you do live. We are attached to our website. We've got our shopping cart open. So if you place any orders today, we will be able to see it. For those of you that want to know how to order, you basically go to my website at theartofponcho.com. theartofponcho.com or larryponchobrown.net. Scroll down to the left, you'll see my book and you'll see something that says order yours today. Click that spot. That's right. It'll take you to a menu of 3 different versions of the book. And what it'll do is it'll say the book autographed and remarked. This show is an incentive-based show. You will only select the book and everything that's ordered this week. That means if you order Tuesday, Wednesday after watching the rerun of the show, you will still get that book for $60 signed. That's right, y'all. So don't order the middle version, the $80 version today. That's the incentive for you looking at the show. You'll also get a copy of my last solo exhibition, Bridges, Faces of Innocence. This is some drawings I did while I was in Ghana. We're going to start coming up with some other incentives to get you guys to order while you're on. Got a couple people that have chimed in out there. Hello, Miss Kabibia Janko. She's one of the people who have purchased the book. That's right, y'all. So it might be one of those things where you might have to buy one for a friend or buy some for some family. Here we go. That's right, y'all. Hi, how you doing, Miss Patricia Stevens? Got me thinking. I know you have one that's. Do you have one that's unsigned? That's right, y'all. But anyway, if you want to get it signed, you got a couple different options. You can wait till I'm doing a print signing down in your area and get it for free. You can mail it back to me, but then you got to pay for shipping coming, and I got to pay for shipping going back. Or you just buy a brand new one and gift the other one to somebody else. That's another option that makes more sense, especially since you're getting an incentive for the show. What's this say? That's right. This man is Mr. Robert Gignard. He's one of the guys I grew up with. We went to junior high school together, believe it or not. And he's actually working on his own book. So I hope that he'll come into the studio today and watch the show and maybe chit chat with us for a minute. I want him, if you want to chit chat or you want to come into the show, go to any one of my Facebook pages. I want you to go to where it says join us in the studio or join us live. Click that link. It'll come into the studio. We can chit chat a little bit about your book. If you got a project coming up, anything you want to see, but we're trying to make the show as interactive as we can. Thank you so much, Mr. Gignard. Hopefully you can call into the show and have a chit chat because you actually have a copy of the book. Well, that's not a bad idea, Ms. Stevens. If you decide to do that, let me know. I might have to throw something a little extra in your container since you did not have your first book signed. But if you want to do that, remember now you can order from the show live. Go to the website, order today. We will make sure we'll see it show up in our shopping cart too. And so, yeah, we got some other people that's joining in. She said she bought as gifts and had them signed. They love them. Thank you so much for that input. Yeah, y'all, we got a couple things coming this summer. It's graduation time. It's a whole bunch of other things. But more than that, you get a chance to participate in this book signing. This book will only be available for the first run, which is 2,000 books. And we have thankfully already sold 1,000 books. We are now getting to a stage where we're going to be booking other book signings towards the end of the year. We may be also signing a deal with Amazon Books. And so we're doing some other things to promote the book to get it in the hands of some of the people who may not have had an opportunity to see us online or see us at one of the shows that we do online. So hopefully you'll stay abreast of what's happening, stay on my website, see what's going on, and we'll continue to bring you and keep you in the buzz of what's happening. Yes, so far we've done, this is our getting ready for our 13th book signing, Lucky 13. We have one coming up in Baltimore next month. How fast June came, but here we go. These are the places we've already been to and some of the other places we've traveled. We started off with the Overdue Recognition Gallery in Bowie. We went to Sarah Gallery in Capitol Heights. We did the Wellspring Manor and Spa in Upper Marlboro. They actually sold the most books of 50 Art for the Soul Gallery in Springfield, Massachusetts. You have the Emoji Fine Arts in Southfield, Michigan. We have the 1010 Artist Collective in Conyers, Georgia. We have the Cheney Library in Cheney, Pennsylvania. We got the Sabra Folks Cultural Arts Center in Kensington, Maryland. We have the Motor House in Baltimore, Wondrous Works in Columbia, Maryland. We have Carpenter State University in Baltimore, Maryland. We have the Color Girls Museum. We just did that in Philadelphia. And we have one coming up at the Bourbon Museum in Baltimore. June the 11th is the date that's been stated for that. I haven't done my big blowout Baltimore show yet. I'm trying to see if I'm going to do this from either my studio this fall, but we will be doing our first signing, actually our second Baltimore signing, at the Frederick Douglass Isaac Myers Museum in June of next month. So hopefully you can come by, check us out, and get a first chance to come in and participate with us in one of our book signings, because we will be very, very busy this fall. So what else we got? We got somebody just came into the studio, and we're going to chit chat a little bit. He's an author. He's one of my closest friends. We used to get chased by the bullies together as kids. But I'm going to bring in my buddy here, Mr. Robert Ginyard. How you doing, Robert?
Hey there, Poncho. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm doing fantastic, brother. You look. Do we both look like 61-year-old men?
No, we don't. I was just looking at the screen, and I'm saying, what are these brothers eating and drinking? And I got to tell you, now you mentioned the bully piece. I thought maybe we had gotten beyond that, But they say as you get older in life, you begin with more wisdom. You begin to accept things that you cannot change. So that did happen.
Exactly. Not many people that I can talk to can even share one of those kind of reflections. So this guy and I were in junior high school together, man. It's hard to believe that this much time is passing. No, we didn't stay close all of those years, but the last decade or so, we've been in each other's lives and helping each other. So, hey, tell me a little bit about, you seen my book. What do you think about my book? Give me some feedback.
Well, I thought the breadth of the book covered from beginning to end, and that you're continuing to push the needle, Poncho. Let me just go back for just a moment. When I saw you doing the sketching of the first page of your book, I think I even made a comment that it took me back to 7th grade watching you, because I sat next to you and I watched you and how meticulous you were. And it was just interesting to see how our teacher at the time, Mr. Humphreys, how he would stand over you, and he always had this thing where he would put his chin in his hand and he would look over at you. And for the most part of that year, I tried to do the same thing, brother, so he could give me that look, and it just never worked. But watching you brought back those memories, and just to see how you've evolved over the years, it's just a beautiful thing. And then, to be here at this age, we're both 61, to be able to even go back that far in our memories to say, hey, look, you know what, we hung out together a little bit, we separated for some time, and then life brought us back around again. So I wanted to put that out there. And with regards to your book, I remember that was just an idea at one point. Yeah. You were saying that you were going to do this, and you put it off a little bit, and then it all started to come together. And I don't know what that switch was, Poncho, but some of the conversations that we've had, at this point in our lives, it's about legacy, and you don't want any regrets. And I think what we ought to be doing, all of us, is you do something that you love, that's such a part of you, that's what you leave behind. And I was so happy to see the book and all of its iterations, and you telling everybody each step of the way of the process. I think that was good for all of us to see what went on in the process. And so while I enjoyed the book, and it's right there on my coffee table, I also enjoyed you sharing the experience, because I think I, along with a lot of other people, we felt like we were on that journey with you. So I thank you for that.
Well, you actually were part of the journey. That was part of what we designed when we decided we were going to actually go about the whole process of the book, because once we got our campaign done and we raised the money, we figured we had a responsibility to not only keep people abreast of what was happening, but to kind of take them through part of the journey, because not a lot of people know what's involved with doing something like this, especially with the amount of time it takes, all of the different editings and different things you have to do to kind of craft the book to get to where you want it.
Yes.
But I know we've inspired each other, and I know you got a book project you're working on right now. So tell me a little bit about your book.
Well, the title of the book is called P Notes, and it's 28 principles essential to realizing your dreams and living a purposeful life. And so the book focuses not so much on my life, but some of the things that we all go through in life and how we start at one point and end up at another. And when people hear about dreams, I tell them it's not, the book really isn't about a particular dream. Dreams are made to put us in motion. Sometimes we dreamed of doing this and that and it didn't work out. But a lot of times we overlook the purpose of that dream. The dream was to get us moving, so that there's certain points along the continuum that, you hook back up with Poncho. We see each other on the street. We get to talking, we meet, we talk. And so when I talk about dreams in the book, they're simply mechanisms to get us in motion, because I think even from a spiritual standpoint, Poncho, that when we are in motion, God can meet us at different points in our lives where we're supposed to be. The first chapter I start off with, well, let me give you a rundown of the book. This is a synopsis of the book. And it's this alliteration that takes you from point A to point B. So it starts off like this. If you pray, plan, and prepare to pursue your dreams, make a promise to yourself to live your life with purpose, to reach your highest potential with passion, perseverance, pleasure, and unleashed power. Be positive and remain proficient at your God-given talent by being persistent and staying on the right path that will position you to meet the right people who can help you prosper, make progress, and enjoy life by living in the present. Remember, the realization of your dreams will come with a price, a process, and sometimes requires a move to another place. If you exercise patience, you can and will prevail with a new perspective, confidence, and peace. And so that is the entire journey. And each one of those pieces,
I'm going to take all of that, and I'm going to take that whole spiel you just gave me, man. I'm going to put a leaflet in the front of my book. For those of you that order the Poncho Retrospective book, you will get also a special leaflet that tells you the P notes for free with the signature. But no, I think what's so wonderful is that we get a chance to inspire each other. I know you've inspired me.
Yes.
I've inspired you to continue moving things forward, and we're looking forward to you getting your book out, and I'll be doing some shows with you later on. But I want to thank you for taking the time for not just checking in and staying present, but for shedding a little light on my book and my process. And so till next time, man, thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm going to be looking for P Notes, y'all. I'm going to be doing some advertising and may do a special show with him on the Poncho Perspective once he gets his book completed.
Well, I appreciate that, Poncho. The actual release date is Thursday, September 28th.
All right.
So we'll be in contact between then. But looking forward to talking with you in more detail. I thank you for following your purpose and presenting people with your book. It's much needed, and best of luck to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ginn, y'all. Hey, y'all, this guy right here, don't let him fool you now. He can hurt you now. This guy's from Baltimore. Don't let those slim red bone dudes fool you. You know, you'll end up in somebody's trunk. Don't let all the eloquent speaking and the P's fool you.
Many blessings.
Thank you so much. You take care now, Ginn, y'all. I'll be talking to you soon.
Sounds good.
All right, man. So that's what I'm talking about. People who are brave enough to hit the button, come into the studio, chit chat, share some wisdom with me. Me and that guy, we go a ways back. For those of you that are interested in ordering the book, please go to the website right now and place your order. This is how you will do it. You'll simply go to my website. You'll see my face. Go down to the left-hand side of the page. You'll see something that says order yours now. Click that button. It'll take you to a page that has the book, description of the book, and the 3 different options you can get for the book. Do not select the middle option for autograph. With this show, you will get an autograph free for your purchase. So the book is $60. And you also will receive a copy of my Bridges, Faces of Innocence. These are my exhibition catalogs. They're full color. This was done for a solo exhibition I did at the Children's Hospital in DC last year. We're going to throw that in if you decide to order a book today or anytime this week. We know we got a long holiday season this weekend. But if you decide to order anytime this week, once I see it in my shopping cart, I will take care of that order. Let's see, who else? We got somebody else tuning in here. Hey, what's that to Mr. William Jones? He said received it as a gift as a contributing follower and purchased 3 additional copies. Is there creating a remark one year? That's fantastic. He also got a chance to see. He has a total of 5 books, y'all. So while y'all sitting there thinking about maybe I should, this guy's already got 5 of them. Thank you so much, William Jones, for your support. Yes, he is listed in the front of the book. Everybody who participated in my fundraiser was listed in the acknowledgement section of the book. And so, yeah, we got folks that are really trying to, this is a group effort, y'all, regardless of how we do things. We have to be willing to help each other with the projects that we're working on. We have to be willing to share what we're doing with other people so that people can be part of what we're trying to do. We have to be willing to take the risk and to come outside of ourselves to tell our story. And so this book is not just about art. This book is an example of what can happen once you share your story with other people. And the book is really a roadmap to any artist that's doing the game right now. If you're an artist and you read this book, you'll get something. If you're a collector and you have this book, you'll gain another aspect of who I am. If you are anybody in the art business, you will respect the book because it actually outlines my journey and how I went about the strategy I used to become quite prominent in the art business. So I want to thank you all for taking the time to tune in. We got one more person came into the studio, and I think they might be on the road. So let's bring this person in and see if we can have some reception here. Mr. John Koo, how are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me? Am I working here?
Yeah, you're working and you sound clear.
All right. Well, I am on the road. I'm in South Carolina. I delivered some art to a Black Mermaid show, and the opening was today.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to just shout out the next Baltimore book signing. Your next Baltimore book signing. And I want to just call on everybody to come out. It's going to take place at the Frederick Douglass Museum, Frederick Douglass Isaac Myers Museum, like you said, in the Herbert Bierman Gallery. And it's going to be overlooking the harbor. It's going to be a Sunday afternoon from 4 to 6 on June the 11th. Just a wonderful place, and there'll be a wonderful energy. So come on down. We might even have some live music. It's going to be great. So I'm calling on everybody near, far, around the corner, around the bend to come on out and join you for that book signing. I want to see the house full.
Well, we're going to do our best to make sure it's full. You've been doing a good job over at the museum. She's the curator, the acting curator over at that museum, doing quite a wonderful job of showing and displaying and exhibiting works of African-American artists. She's one of the few people in Baltimore City that's committed to that task, and they're giving her space and leeway to do this without interruption. And so we have to learn how to support each other in our endeavors, and artists right now are not getting the kind of light and support that they should, but it's people like Abibia Jonku and other people that are really doing their best, putting their best foot forward to make sure that we don't get lost in the light of this diversity and equity movement, which tends to push us away sometimes. So got some other projects coming down towards the end of
And
the
that
year.
we hold our own work and uplift our own name. So we got to come out. You're right.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you so much for taking time when you drive. I'm glad the stuff is not moving past your window while you're talking.
No, I pulled
that would have made me nervous a little bit. None of us want to witness. We don't want to witness nothing while you're on the air. So thank you for taking time to stop in.
I pulled over to listen to the show. I pulled over, so I'm calling on everybody. Come on out. If I can pull over in South Carolina, you can go across the city to the Herbert Bierman Gallery and just check it out and get your book signed in person. And if you're far away, go ahead and do it right now. Click that thing and get the break right now, because they're beautiful books.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for that input. And we're looking forward to doing the book signing at the Frederick Douglass Myers next month. And you be safe on that road out there. Till next time. Well, that's what I'm talking about, y'all. It's like takes many hands to pull off something like this, to promote something like this. And so I want you to just keep in mind that we got to continue to support each other in our projects. If you want to order the book, this website will be open for the rest of the evening, and just keep tuning in. Well, we had two brave people coming to the studio today. That's more than usual. So y'all must be really celebrating the holidays. What's this say? Is your Bridges available as a standalone purchase? Yes, the Bridges catalog is available. Just go to the website, put in Bridges in the search window. This will show up. This sells for $25 normally. So if you want to get the Bridges catalog, just hit that button for $25 and this will be coming your way. Or you can order a book and it will come to you free. Mr. William Jones has 5 books, y'all. 5 books. That's right. So that's what's going on, y'all. Right now we're at the 6:45 hour, and I want to show you a couple other things that will help you understand what we're trying to do here. But most of all, the reality is, too many times we are put in positions to promote ourselves and we don't. Too many times we have something that we feel like we want to say, but we don't have an opportunity, or we don't come up with a platform to say it. Being a creative is a place for you to utilize that energy to really have the freedom to do whatever you want to do. And technology is more on our side now than ever when it comes to doing anything that has to do with multimedia, would have to do with video, especially when it comes to doing books. Technology, as it improves and prices come down, it makes it possible for us to do many other things that we never could do before. So this is the best time to be an artist. This is the best time to be someone to share your story, because you got so many different methods to get the word out, to share your words, share your story with somebody else. And you never know how your story might impact some other people. So keep that in mind. But that's what it's all about, y'all. It's a whole lot of things that are on the line here as we take advantage of this new technology. If you're interested in the Bridges catalog, this is just giving you a little close-up of that catalog. It's about 24 pages. It features a foreword and some other words about this collection. I actually created these 40 or so images while I was on a retreat to Ghana. And we did a whole exhibition at the Children's Hospital in Washington, D.C. last year, which was up for 6 months, y'all. And so these are different children that I met while I was there. And this book, this catalog book, will be part of what you receive when you order the Poncho Retrospective today. That's our incentive for the show today. Also, all signatures are free. Do not select the $80 version. If you decide you want to get the book, you'll simply go to the website. You will click that button and you'll see my face. go down to the left-hand side. You can click that part that says order yours now. It'll take you to a menu that shows you the different versions of the book. And that is how you place your orders. And we will be leaving this up for another week or so because of the holidays. So if you order a book from us anytime between now and next week, we will honor the $60 book fee for a signed book. And you will also get a free copy of the Bridges catalog in that. Hey, is anybody else out there? Anybody else out there that wants to come into the studio and chit chat with me on these last couple of minutes? Is there anybody out there that has some words of wisdom? We got a couple people that are still tuned in. If you got some words, just sit down, hit them, put something in the chat screen. We'll put it up on the screen and chit chat about it. Remember, this book is 5 pounds. Now, the worst thing can happen with a 5-pound book is that it gets to your address and for some reason you don't get it and they mail it back. So these books are fragile because they're so big. So just make sure that when you order your book that you give us a very clear address so we can make sure you get your book. We take great pride in packing these books up to make sure they can make it to their destination. We have shipped over 1,000 books so far, and we'll continue to ship as long as interest is there. But we got a goal and a plan to sell 2,000 books, and that's what we'll be doing between here now and next year. We have not been promoting the book for 1 year yet. It's only been released in July of last year, and we are approaching our first year of actually selling the book, and so we're doing quite well and could always use some support. Hey, do you want to do a book signing? I know you're probably sitting around saying, I wonder if you would do a book signing. Well, there's a couple of things that are criteria for me to do a book signing for you. The first thing is you've had to purchase one of my pieces before. That's an important one. All galleries are open for doing them. If you are a collector's club, that's one way to do it. If you have you want to do like a home show at your house, that's a way to do it. So we've done quite a few different formats, but that's how you can book a book signing. If you want to book a book signing, just go to larryponchabrown@gmail.com. Send me a note telling me when you think you want to do it. We will look at it. I'll talk to my team and see if it's something we can work into our schedule. But we are still looking for locations to do book signings. We're now currently being quoted by an entity in Chicago to do 1 or 2 book signings there. I should know more about that in the coming weeks. And we just told you about the show at the Frederick Douglass Isaac Myers Museum, which is right on the waterfront in Baltimore City. And that will be happening next month on June the 11th. So we are trying to keep the book moving. If you have any questions or any words, just tap in. You can go into the comments and leave us a line. Or if you're bold enough, we still got enough time where you can come into the studio and we can chit chat with you and see what's happening. Here's another video that gives you a little bit of information about the book. I want to take this opportunity to thank Overdue Recognition Art Gallery for sponsoring my very first book signing for the Poncho Retrospective. It has been an interesting journey of over a year and a half trying to put this book together. We actually started prior to the, COVID interrupted everything. I had started designing it around the time with my team, Joe Ford and Donna Gardner. We've designed other books in the past, but this is the first time I've actually walked down this road of trying to do my own. I was diagnosed with cancer 6 years ago, so I decided it was time for me to start thinking short term and also getting some of the projects done that I thought I needed to be doing for a legacy standpoint. And so the book was one. I'm also working on film. But COVID came, shut everything down, and then I decided I would go back into it and start redesigning the book during COVID. I also decided I was going to take the opportunity to do a crowdfunding campaign just to see engaged interest in the book. And on a crowdfunding campaign, you basically solicit support and you give people like prints and other things in exchange for their donation. So I figured, okay, I'm going to put $10,000 on it, and I'll probably match the other 10 to get the book done. Well, we put it up, launched it back in June of 2021, and within a week, we raised $10,000. Within 2 weeks, we had raised $20,000. And then it just kept slowly climbing until it got to $34,000. So I was at this point where my design team had already designed the book, but now we had raised twice the money we thought we were going to raise. So I decided, okay, well, I'm just going to upscale everything. I'm going to double the size of the book. I'm going to do a hardbound. And then I ran into another problem with just being able to source things in the United States. Most printing plants were closed during COVID. Folks that were older pressmen started to retire. Whoever was doing the menial jobs, they got displaced. So I ran into a situation where I couldn't even find a place in the United States that could print the book. And then when I finally did find someone, they said, hey, look, we can't match the quality of your last book, which forced me to have to entertain having the book printed internationally, which is something I've never done in my career, have always thought about it, but kind of shied away from it. Luckily, I don't believe in luck. By the grace of God, in 2 phone calls, I found a company that specializes in reference books and museum art books. And I asked them to send me samples, and they sent me an Afro-Cobra book. I had gone to that exhibition in Miami the year prior. And then here this book is coming as an example, and I knew right away I had the right company. So the book got rebirthed, but what I decided to do at that point was 246 people contributed money to get this book done. And so I took them through a journey. We would send posts, I would post a little bit about each step along the way. Along the way, we probably sent like 60 different messages to people to keep them up to date on what was happening, how it was happening. And so it was really a nice group effort, but at the end of the day, my followers ended up being my publisher. And so, you know, it's been just a refreshing experience. Now that the book is done, it's been well received. And I'm just hoping that it will kind of lay a legacy a bit, because most artists are on the grind and the hustle of selling their work, but many of them are not telling their stories. So our collectors are buying the work, they like us, they're interested in what we do, but they don't really get to know the backstory of how we got to the point, the different points that we get to. And so for me, it was a chance for me to sit down and finally try to articulate the journey I went through personally as a graphic designer into doing fine art. And I think if an artist read it, they can get something from it. If a collector read it, they get something from it. But I was also very glad that I was able to get this book to my 2 children, you know, and I wished my father and my mother could have saw this book. So I just want to thank everybody that took the time to participate in this. It's going to lay the groundwork. A lot of artists now are already feeling the buzz. Sometimes you lay a bar when you're not trying to, but I've already laid a bar where artists are now looking at themselves saying, hey, I need to do one. And now they're looking at the quality of the book that we did. And I just think it's going to change the whole format of how we tell our individual stories. And so I'm really encouraging all artists to not just paint and draw, but to tell your story. And that's the only thing we can do to help the new generation of artists that are coming in. They really can't figure out how these things work. And so that's the challenge, y'all. Tell your story. Beautiful. The silver lining in my background is that I study graphic design, where I have to work with clients. I have to develop what they want me to do. I had to work for them. I had to be able to visualize and what they brought to me. I never liked graphic design, but it gave me the premise, a business premise of how to promote, how to market. And so that's just a classical part of my training that I don't think a lot of fine artists would have gotten along the way on their path. I chose graphic design. Some people take general fine arts. That was the choice I made. But the book really does describe the pros and cons of the choice I made. Because when you make one choice, it's like signing up with a gang. You know, the rules and regulations are totally different. How you market or not market yourself changes. So a lot of people do admire what I do marketing wise, but I just believe it's a form of communication. You gotta, if you want to build a following, you have to find a way to speak their language. And I think I've been fairly successful at staying connected with my followers. Well, you know, life is struggle. And for artists, it's such an introspective thing for us to do what we do. It's a very isolating thing. What I went through is most artists' worst nightmare. But I had to go through it. I learned a lot of things. It happened at an age where I got to really see the effect of my work on people. I got to see who my haters were and weren't. I got to see who was rallying for me. And I think that makes all the difference in the world. I lost everything I created up to 1995 and had to recreate myself in the middle of really cresting my career. And so a lot of folks counted me out. A lot of folks didn't. A lot of folks were very, very happy that this happened to me. But I can tell you, the masses of people showed up, and they have been my supporters and my followers ever since. So I think people watch how you come out of struggle. Artists, we are one step away from depression. It's just part of who we are. We feel the world different. I didn't say better or worse. I said different. And so I'm able to connect the artists in a different way than some other people because I understand our lifeline and how we work and the counterbalance of the two. And so, hey, man, it's about life. And we take the time to depict everyday life in our work. It's a reflection of our people. It should be. And so I take pride in that. And hopefully that's going to be my legacy. I don't want to say it's a blueprint, but my thing is that if you've not seen a lot of books out, then it becomes one automatically. So there's a lot of museum books out, but there are not a lot of books out by people of color, especially not where they talk about their past and how they got to where they got. So for me, it's a blueprint in that you'll be able I've demystified my journey in a way that if you're creative, you could see something in it that will motivate you. It talks about the struggle. It talks about the people that I met. Talks about my doubt. It talks about my insecurities. But it also talks about that moment when I had the epiphany that I was on to something. And all artists can relate to each one of those phases. So as for me, there's a universality in my words that I think most artists will connect with. Well, y'all, we're coming to the end of this program. We did a bunch of, we had two good people come on and try to explain what their experience is with the book. And we've been trying to tell you a little bit more insight to the book. This is our third online signing, which we're going to be trying to do again monthly if we can for a while until we get some more momentum with our book signings. We want to thank you for taking the time to tune in. It's all about participation. Remember that this recording will be up for the rest of the week. So if you decide to order, we got a couple people that have already gone to the shopping cart and have purchased their books. Thank you so much for each person that purchased their book. And thank you for the remark that was just sold. But if you want to participate, simply put your order in. We will honor the special and we will honor the incentive, which is the book here to go in addition with your book. You'll get the book for $60 if you decide you want to do that. If you want to remark, make sure you select that proper level and that book will be coming your way. Until next time, y'all, I want to thank you for tuning in and we will do another one where we can connect with more people. Hey, spread the word around for me, pass the word around. Because hopefully we'll get some more people to support what we're trying to do here. Until next time, y'all, enjoy the holiday.